Alright, it's been like a week, so first thing I'm going to do is answer this question here. How do you change the background of Zbrush to a solid colour? Because Zbrush is normally like that awful gradient, if I do say so myself, and the way you change is just in document, and it's these settings here to change the range to 0. I'm not quite sure what these settings are on default, but if you just emulate what I've got, range 0 on the gradient range, change that to 0 as well. Not quite sure what that does, but I think if these two are 0, that won't really matter. That's your background colour, and there's usually like a border going around where that safe zone is, you know, like when you zoomed into a model and you can still click on that area there and just be able to move. That's just the colour of that, but I've got it all one solid colour, just a normal, you know, dark greyish kind of colour. It's a lot better for filming as well, because if you notice that when you film with the gradient on, it sort of normally goes all pixelated and awful. But since the last video, which was this one a week ago, and I haven't really done anything much, so my own fault. Got to this bit, a bit of the head. Since then, it's progressed quite a bit. I'll show you a render that I've done, which I put on my DeviantArt Scrab. This is where it's pretty much at this point. Sculpted the whole body and the back, legs. It's all pretty much done in terms of sculpting. Just did a poly paint here which I started poly painting last night, which it came on quite well. I pretty much finished it, but I'm just gonna touch up some areas, and I don't know, I feel like I need to do a bit more work on it before I can call it finished. But I am really fond of this back area. I think it works pretty well, and I decided a good idea of a different character, like a huge behemoth sort of organic kind of monster guy, like a Hulk, but he's covered in this sort of organic armor kind of stuff, like around his shoulders and stuff. So I might do that next, but I also had the idea of doing another Pokemon, because I sculpted like a Marowak, or it might have been Cubone, either way, but I did like my alternate version of a Pokemon, which is all sort of like gruesome and muscly and stuff, so that was quite fun. So I might do something like that again, and then do the Behemoth project, but I'm not sure. But I was also thinking as well that I might want to sculpt another Oddworld character, because this has been quite enjoyable, to be honest with you. I don't know, it's just Oddworld characters is just me, you know, like I don't know, it's just there's something about Oddworld that I like, and my art style is pretty gruesome itself, you know, with all the detail and like lines and shit. It just fits the whole theme of Oddworld. But anyway, this is what I've got from the poly painting that I did last night. Let me just load up a picture as well. I was using, it's the same picture that I used before, but I just slapped on this colour version I found on the internet. So I found that as well. I didn't know this, but you can hover over anything, literally anything in Zbrush, and press C, and it sort of colour drops it to your active thingy there, which is, you know, like anything. Look, you can just it's pretty awesome. You can all go up here and around there. It's cool. So if you want to get some colours into your work easily, like you do in Photoshop, I like colour dropping pictures. You can do that in ZBrush just using the C button. But I think I didn't want to go for this much saturation on my model, just because of the detail I've got on it, you know. But I do feel that it is missing, I don't know, some very specific things that I need to put in there. Like, it just feels a bit flat, a bit lifeless. I'm going to put a bit of that orange in that I'm seeing using my clay tubes. Let's get some more different alphas. No, I don't think scaly skin. Maybe just go with the default. If I was using, I might go for that. That's pretty interesting. Let's see my colour spray on. See, I don't know if I should like. Oh crap! Yeah, I forgot to turn on my RPG. Just make sure. A bit of lag. Yeah, I didn't use masking as well for this. It was just literally just sculpting in using the different settings on the clay tubes brush, using minus and plus versions of that brush to get into all the detail and stuff. To be honest with you, I think a lot of this sort of extra tonal values could be added in Photoshop. I don't know if I'm trying to I don't know if I'm making this like more work than it should be, if you know what I mean. Because there is so much you can do in Photoshop with texturing and stuff. I'm just going to switch back to square brush, get like a darkish kind of red. And if you're using clay tubes, you can notice now that when I sort of brush over, it's starting to go into all these cavities just by the nature of clay tubes. And I'm not pressing on very hard, so it's coming through pretty subtly, which is what I want. And then if you do the opposite, if you hold the minus or your Alt button, it's gonna go into it's gonna go like sort of like brisk across the surface of it, and it's just really nice for getting some sort of like transition between cavities. So this is why I use clay tubes for this sort of painting and stuff, just for that notion and that ability to just quickly do that without masking. It's very fluid, nice way of working. I'm actually going to colour drop this orange. Now that is a pretty intense orange. Let's try it out. Let me put a bit of sprayage. Get some alpha going. The cavity thing only seems to work as well when you're using like a really solid brush like the square brush. If I use this spray version as well, it just seems to sort of spray it everywhere as if it was like a kind of spray pen or something. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm really liking this, so I might just revert back to what I had before. But I also plan on whitening up the sort of greenish areas. So I know they were white on the original model from Oddworld. It's not too bad. Let me just colour. I don't know, I think I need to get a bit more red in there. And wow, it's lightning here. You can probably hear that. Wow, that was really close. That's quite scary. That must have been like a mile away. It flashed and I heard the sound straight away, so... Okay. Hopefully I don't die. I think I'm going to pull back the range a little bit here. Get like a dark colour back into these areas around here. But I don't know, this is what I like about having such a detailed model. Because when you come to the poly painting phase, you can just complement what you've sculpted so well and so easily, you know, which you just wouldn't get from having such a clean, simple sort of sculpt, you know. Like, I don't know, it just seems a bit more rewarding. The last part I want to do is come in with like a pretty strong white, just to really give it sort of like a, I don't know, just pull it back from this green that's going on. It's working pretty well. I'm always sort of scared of using white because when you render it out, sometimes it just looks kind of weird if you use too much white. That's kind of like what light most of the time comes out as white. You know, it's whiteness. But I suppose I can always bring the tonal edge in Photoshop back down a little bit. So yeah, I'm never really scared about doing stuff like this in Zbrush, just because there's so many opportunities to fix it later on. So I'm just going with my head, and I want to whiten this up a little bit. I'm still quite a bit of a novice though at poly painting myself. Yeah, I don't really know much about colour theory and all that sort of stuff. I'm just literally just doing it off my understanding of colours and obviously try and match the artwork that I have before me and where this character has come from. That I've overdone that a little bit. Maybe I should bring it back into that sort of green a little bit more. Use my colour spray again. That's Skin Alpha. And if you're sort of like, you don't have a lot of alphas available to you, literally just Google like skin alphas and there's quite a lot of results for like torrents and stuff. If you want to get like a better library for yourself, it's pretty helpful when you're doing stuff like this. It's always exciting as well to just go through and then you find like the alpha for what you're doing. Yeah, I'm trying to sort of do it like every week now, just trying to build up like useful stuff for my ZBrush thing, like getting different materials and matte caps and alphas and stuff. Trying to build up quite a formidable library of useful things for my work. I'm quite happy with that. Make his legs. Got a different tone for his legs, which probably need to fix. So I'm just going to select that and quickly see how well. Oh, that lag. It's very pastely on his legs. Let me switch back to Square Brush. Go back in now, just with the dark colour in all these cavities and stuff. Do this other leg as well. because I'm doing this for a game model as well, I can get a lot of shading information from sort of using like they say baking it in the normal map, which means what you do is you grayscale your normal map in Photoshop or whatever, and then you can apply that as like a darken pass or like a multiply sort of layer mode or something. And what it does, it brings out all the bumps and stuff like that. Basically what I'm doing here, you know, just coming in with a primary red colour and then bumping it back out with the darkness. But I think this is pretty working. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Yeah, I might pose it up now. I have to transfer those legs across. The only thing that I'm worried about is it's different tonal values around his legs. It's pretty obvious. Let's see. The weird thing is, isn't that much difference when you colour drop them. I'm just gonna leave it. Okay, let me get rid of that picture. That's perspective mode. One thing I need to make sure is that the legs match up. Ah, shit. Just into they're on the sort of same level, if you get me. And then I can just move that around a little bit to make it better fit. Alright. I'm going to get rid of the floor now. Yeah, I think that looks a bit better now. Right, okay. Right, I'm going to save that in case I get a random crash. I'm just going to transfer these legs across now. Once it finishes saving. Alright, awesome. Just going to bring my plugins over here. And we want to go to Subtool Master. And with that leg selected, hit mirror. It's to default settings. And it's going to go through and mirror that leg across. And there you go. I need to do that with you as well. It takes quite a considerable amount of time as well. The one thing about the pose though, is I'm not quite sure how I want it to sort of stand. We'll have to Google something. Alright, so that's it fully coloured. Starting to look more like a Scrab now. With a bit of colour on there. Now, for the pose, I'm going to use my levels to go down, just so I can really, you know, no. Now I can really sort of bend this thing around and not worry about the detail messing up and stuff. But I'm just going to Google Scrab and see what it comes up with and see if there's any sort of different poses and stuff, different actions and stuff like that. The Paramites are pretty freaky. That's pretty brutal. It's a bit weird though. That's pretty cool. It's pretty bad. I'm not sure like how it should run and stuff. That's pretty cute. Might be a YouTube job. Scrub. So fast, cat. It seems to sort of that leg seems to sort of like really get pushed forward. Maybe not that. know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try something here. Turn perspective off. Because I do know there's a way you can. Let me turn all the poly paint things off. If I go into my transpose master, see what this does. Now I should be able to just like move this around quite freely now. Let me just switch to a normal. Posing's always sort of tricky. Trying to get the right amount of tension. That's pretty cool. Let me just lightly give that a bit of leeway. This one's going to be sort of stretched out a little bit. I could sort out with that. Right, and that's sort of like this leg. Is kind of like it's up in the air like the same if that one is. May as well just make this one the more extensive leg. Seems to be going in that direction anyway. And then last but least is to see, I'm thinking, yeah, it would be stretched out at one point in its run cycle. So all that's left to do now is to bring this leg out a little bit. See if this works. And I tell it to go back to its normal res. Alright. Get its claw. Yeah, that leg needs to twist a little bit. Alright. What's its head doing? It seems to, I'd assume, that it uses abs to kind of like get down low. Yeah?
You hear that big thunder?
Yeah, well close.
Yeah, little cat outside it shit itself. Literally. Proper crap itself. It's gone out on it, it started raining. I've shut the door because it's raining. Just put a piece of glass in it, it'd be right, you know, bottom part of the frame falling out. Just rotten it, dropped out. There were enough sill bit falling out. So you can't freaking do that off front of the house.
Okay. I'll give it a bit of twist. Keep forgetting to mask out his teeth. Oh, that's pretty cool. I'll leave it as that. We'll hit this button here. It should transfer it all back, but we'll see. Okay. Seems to have worked. We'll turn back on gesso. Put a bit of perspective on. Playing with the cavity stuff. Just render that, see what it looks like. It's a bit fickle. It looks pretty cool though. I think maybe with some highlight information on there, it look pretty cool. I'm just going to load gesso back up. So if you load them back up from their file, it goes back to its default settings. Okay. Okay. Scrab. composed. Sorry, had an itch. That looks kind of cool. If you bring its specularity down a little bit. I was wondering why these look so weird. That's a little bit better. It hasn't really changed much though. This random splotches of grey. I'm just thinking whether or not I should build like a little platform thing for him. But I'm not too sure. You know, what sort of surface I'd want for it. I'll do it anyway and see what it gives me. Alright, I'm back. Yeah, you'll notice how that video ends quite abruptly because I started to try and make like a pedestal for him. Just some sort of random rocky background, but I was sort of struggling with it, so I just paused the video and went ahead and made the pedestal. Took a few renders using BPR and stuff, so I'm just going to composite them now. This is like the final posed up sort of, you know, Zbrush version of this thing. I've got a couple of render passes here that I'm going to put together. In a minute. Yeah, just making sure I've got everything out. Yeah, I was waiting for some weird. I was trying out some like fiber mesh stuff, so it's kind of like a new concept for me. The grass is a bit thick, but I don't mind. It gives you that cartoony edge, that Oddworld kind of feel. So it's pretty much the render that I've ended up with of the pose that I did. It's pretty cool. I used a fast skin shader. Just turned down the specularity a little bit, so you can see a bit of that sort of, you know, that reflectivity about it. It's almost sort of slimy, but it's not kind of feel. Yeah, I've got a back version of this as well, so I'm going to go ahead and do this front version because I need them to all align perfectly to use all these different passes and stuff. So first of all, I'm just going to get the AO pass, dump it on top, and set it to multiply. Might go with darken, gives it a bit more. I'll go with darken. This is pretty much what compositing's kind of about. It's just playing around with different layer settings and stuff in Photoshop. I'll be doing this a bit later on. That's for lens blurring, which is awesome. Let me get the mask, put this into a new alpha channel. I'm just going to select the mask by control clicking that. I'm going to inverse it by Control Shift I. And I'm just going to get rid of the unnecessary background on those pictures and put in just a simple grey for now. But yeah, that's got rid of everything pretty nicely. Shadows, I don't think I'll need this because the shadows ended up being rendered in on top of it anyway, but I'll check them out. It's going to probably be really overpowering. Just end up being like black splodges. I'll keep them there unless I want to use them at some point, just in case, after I start fiddling around with the different values of colours and stuff. And highlight pass. Just going to get rid of that background. I may as well delete this one as well. What else have I highlighted? I'm going to set that to what it is now. Screen, I think. Just get a bit of highlight in there. It's a bit powerful. For this, I'm going to mask it out by using a layer mask and hide all. That way I can select this, because it basically connects, depending on if you press hide or show, white information on this sort of black block that you get makes the whatever's masked underneath show up. So if I sort of start to brush over, you can see now that that image is starting to come through. So I'm just gonna, you know, literally brush on where I want it to highlight, where I think it would benefit. You know, just trying to pick out interesting sort of areas and stuff. Down that leg, maybe on his knee here. Bit around there. I don't want to draw too much attention to the grass, because it's kind of irrelevant. You know, it's just a background spectacle. It's nothing to do with my model. Just there, just purely to make the presentation a bit more professional, I guess. I will add a little bit in, just to spice it up a little bit. I'm not quite sure on that. So I can just mask it out again. It's the beauty of using masks. You have complete control of what you're doing. Now I have that sort of coming through, I can start to play around with different I'm going to go ahead with levels, I think. Levels, yeah. Seems familiar. Let's get a more powerful version of that in there. And I'm also going to sharpen these up. I'm just testing how sharp I want it to go. That seems kind of nice. Sharpen you up as well, just in case I want to add you in there. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to play around with the different values on the actual colour. So Control L for levels, and I'm literally just going to scrub around and see, you know, how much I want to bring this out, you know. Because I like it to be punchy. Well, you can tell the difference already, but it's starting to get a bit oversaturated, so I'm going to use my hue and saturation to bring the saturation down a little bit, whilst keeping the level of intensity about it. Let me just see on this one. Okay, I'm just going to get rid of some of these areas here. It's sort of, it had this weird outline going on that I didn't like, especially down here as well, where it should be in shade, and in here. All I'm doing is switching between black and white using the X key. Quite like this bit here. Get a bit round its mouth area. Yeah, it's all about just picking out areas of interest. Kind of want its head to be quite a big feature, so I'm just going to brush it all in there. That's looking kind of cool. Just going to play around these values again. Don't know how. I might punch it up just 2. And if that's too much, just try to bring it down in the saturation, see if that gives me anything. It's pretty nice. Nah. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing for that as well. Layer mask, hide all, and I'm just going to start to painting those cool areas I saw coming through. You know, just where I want it to be darker than the others. So I accidentally colour dropped something there somehow. Especially around these plant life areas. Okay, that's pretty cool. I like to have a different strong range. That's looking pretty cool. Then what I need to do now is get rid of these. These are done, that's done. Let's get this depth. Let's get rid of that. What side's that done? Okay, I'm just going to pull that depth into alpha 1. Get rid of that sec. Just going to leave that for now. I think that's probably might be one of them too, but I don't know. I'm going to combine all these and copy. Get rid of that sec. I just Control Z that to go back, so I still have the layers, but then I copied this flattened layer. Because then I can go to Filter, Blur, and we want to do a lens blur, and we want the source to be alpha 1, and it's basically, you know, you can see it blurring out according to the depth mask, so it's kind of acting like a proper camera lens. You know how that picks out how its autofocus works and stuff like that. So I'm just going to start to tweak a little bit, and you can really start to see this interesting thing coming through. That looks kind of cool. Quite like that. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I mean, I can probably tweak it as a whole, you know. Nah, I'm going to keep it as that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. My little dirty compositing tutorial, I guess. I'm not a very confident render. It's not something I've practiced and learned, you know. So, but I'm quite pleased with that. It looks pretty cool. It's quite dramatic. It's unique to me as a person, you know. Just got to do the back version now. And I'll put them together. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Right, I'm just gonna save that out. Then I'll quickly do the back, and I will resume the video. Just bear with me. All right, cool. I've just done the back version, as you can see there. I'm just gonna drop it straight into this one. Just put them together as one sort of working unit. Let's get these all the way out. Give it a bit more space. Bottom, top. Let's fill that in. It's a pretty huge render, so probably need to go about. I want it to be kind of big so you can appreciate the detail and stuff. So go about the 75%. So how big that is. It's big enough. It's pretty huge still there. I don't want it to be obnoxious, so go down to about 2000 pixels. It's still a bit big. Maybe 80% of that. Yeah, that's cool. Alright, that's pretty much done. And the one thing I'm stressing out about is that this one is way bigger than that one. Ah, crap. Sorry, we've been selected. Not again. I think that probably. Yeah, that seems about right. Alright. Yeah, I'm happy with that. It's 100%. I should put my name on it. It looks a bit corny at times. Nah, or maybe I always get sort of like, you know, should I be doing this kind of feeling when I put my name on stuff. Yeah. I'm going for this sort of like line thing recently. Yeah, that's okay. It's not obnoxious. And let me just drop these all together. Quick second. Let me just save this out as done. I'm just going to play around different, you know. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I might leave a bit of saturation in there. Yeah. Alright, done. Save that as a JPEG in here. Scrab, posed, render, and upload that on now. See what people think. Make sure I save that. That's pretty much it for the rendering and compositing of Zbrush. The next part, I am going to make the game version. I've decided, even though I separated the legs in Zbrush, I'm going to do the game model as one separate piece. I just feel that if I was doing it for like, you know, thinking about animation purposes, that it would work a lot better than having separate limbs. You know, you'd be able to see the pretty obvious areas where the legs separate from the body. So I feel like it'd work better as a game model if the limbs were attached as one mesh. And then I'd probably have to paint some areas where it's going to probably project the maps and textures a bit weird, but that's just a problem I'll go through when I'm texturing this thing. So next video I will have the game mesh ready, and I'll show you the texturing process and projecting the detail from a high-res model to a low-res. It's going to be quite fun actually. I haven't done one of these videos yet because I've never progressed the model that far, but yeah, I planned on doing it with this model from the beginning, so cool. That's pretty much it for the Scrab ZBrush section. I'm done.